Good evening. Tonight, I talk about a rather serious topic on my jEsTeR vlogs number 6. This topic I've been wanting to discuss for decades now, and long before I thought I'd be a content creator, I always thought someday I'd tell this story, and I didn't know how to say it. And so I just blurted it out in my previous jEsTeR vlogs. But jEsTeR vlog number 6 is specifically the topic for this vlog is spiritual warfare and energetic manipulation. And so, with my jEsTeR vlogs, I don't have a script. I don't really prepare for these. This is my talk to camera challenge. And my first jEsTeR vlog was on April Fool's Day, which I think was, what are we, 2026? So that would be 2025, and 2024, that was my first video on my channel, and April Fool's Day, I'm jEsTeRJaMiSeN, April Fool's Day is important to me, and so, 2024, first video. 2025, my jEsTeRs vlogs. And now this upcoming April Fool's Day is going to be 2026, and that'll be vlog number 7. But this is vlog number 6. So I'm gonna discuss my channel on vlog number 7. But specifically in vlog number 6, I'm going to talk about spiritual warfare, what spiritual warfare is, and the various perspectives on different factions, like the religious perspective, the non-religious perspective. I'm going to talk about, I got an itch right where my makeup is. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about how people deal with spiritual warfare from different factions. I am a heathen, I am an outcast, and so, often I am secluded and isolated from any faction ever. The scientific community calls people like me insane. The religious community calls people like me evil. And so I'm going to talk about that. jEsTeR's vlog number 6. Welcome, one and all. This is a very serious topic. Trigger warning. I do bring up. It's a dark episode, so I bring up dark topics. And so, if you're not in a comfortable space mentally, then save this one for later. And go check out vlog number 7 on April Fool's Day. Just a much more lighter theme about me and my channel and my growth and my future and everything. Vlog number 6, this vlog right now. We're going to talk about spiritual warfare. So, right now, let's begin with what is spiritual warfare. When you talk about warfare, you have an enemy, okay? Let's just go to war, okay? The physical war, two enemies have different views, different opinions, and so they go to war, they clash and everything. And that's the physical way to see what's going on. The thing about spiritual war is that you can't see the enemy. The enemy is energetic. It's all about energy. It's in different dimensions. We're interdimensional creatures. We're very complex. We exist in other dimensions while we're still living in this earthly 3D plane. And so we interact. This is how we can sense energies. We can sense spirits. Energetic warfare is very close to spiritual warfare. Let's talk about manipulation. Okay, I'm gonna jump around the topic because, again, this is a talk to camera challenge. I just have the topic, spiritual warfare and energetic manipulation. This isn't scripted. This is me getting used to talking to you. So, I may jump around, but I'll try to be more condensed. Okay, so, the religious particularly fear witchcraft and these holy, sacred, righteous people who bow their heads in shame. They like to pretend that all witches are like chanting around, doing dark spells and everything, and sending curses left and right just because they're evil and everything. What if I told you that everybody does curses? Everybody does spell work just by breathing, just by existing, just by thinking. You don't have to have the candles, you don't have to have anything. This is energetic, this is spiritual. If you have a hateful person, they are projecting hate. They don't have to do anything, they just have to feel the hate and think the hate. Okay, so if you have a toxic family, member, that's of a lower frequency, that's just very selfish, very bitter, they're gonna project their hate, and that's a form of a curse. Okay, when they willfully say bad words, particularly in a very crude manner, these bad words, well, what do we call them? Curse words. Okay, it's energy. You're cursing someone. If you say badness, you're projecting it out to the other person. You ever see people point? My grandma does this all the time. She'll always point. She's projecting her hatred into other people, into me. A being of love who was never loved. I was never loved. And so, energetic warfare is taking hate and projecting it onto someone loving. It's also taking love and projecting it on to something hateful. You hear of grid work, where we're supposedly placed on this planet to heighten the frequency of this realm, to evolve, to escape the lower hellish dimensions of influence and control, and live a more like heavenly, divine frequency. Do people really think they're so divine if their expressions are based on the toilet? Do they? Do they really think they're superior when their expressions are based in mud? Or violent sexual actions as your main expression? It hurts people, it hurts me. I've been tortured, I've been horrendously tortured in this life in a variety of ways from a variety of people, and when I hear these words, these curse words, it's based on either the toilet or on violence. It's not meant to be kind. It's hate. They're spewing hate with their expressions. Now, I am specifically creating my own expressions because this world, it doesn't have good expressions. In my comic books, I'm specifically only gonna use good expressions. Like, if you're surprised, don't say something that references a toilet. Don't say something that references a sexual violent actions. No. Say something like, oh, quasars. Cosmic craters. Cosmic quasars. A quasar is a star that, or a pulsar. I don't know the difference between a quasar and a pulsar, but they're very similar. So basically what that is that you get the light every so often. And it's always like a consistent, every pulsar or quasar, forgot the difference, but it's always the same, okay? Alright, some are very fast, and some are slower. But it's always the same, frequency in these different quasars and pulsars around the galaxy. And so we can use them to map the stars as like little buoys on the ocean, as waypoints, as landmarks in the skies, in the heavens, in space. What do? No, we don't say pulsars. We don't say cosmic craters. No, we say toilet stuff. We say violent sexual action. You think of love? That is not love. That is hate. And people hide themselves in relationships because they feel lost. They think they're supposed to be in this facade, in these relationships that are based on hate. And then they get jealous and they always cheat and everything because it's based on insecurity and hatred. And that's the opposite of what we're trying to strive for. We're trying to bring love into the universe, and so it's very frustrating when you're trying to be a beacon of light in all this, in this darkness of chaos, of being lost, of being isolated. You're trying to inspire the people. You're trying to just make someone out there feel good, feel better, and by doing that, by embracing the darkness of life, to transmute it, to bring it into light, taking all the trauma of the evil, transmuting it into peace, love, and understanding. When we do this, the religious calls us evil. The scientific calls us crazy, insane, deluded. Like, there's something wrong with us. They invent all these boxes of control. Oh, you think outside the box, so you must have a condition. You think in higher logic, so you must be defective. It's do you see a pattern here? Because I see a pattern here, and that's why I'm talking about it. And I finally have the strength to talk about this. So, spiritual warfare, energetic warfare, the friends you have that are actually enemies, okay, they engage in energetic warfare. They take your accomplishments, and instead of, applauding you and rooting for you like a real friend, then their jealousy takes over, their hatred, and they're like, oh, well, that's nice for you. Does that ever happen to you? Like you're expecting this big this interaction, this heartful gesture, but no, they scoff. They show their insecurity, their jealousy, their hatred of you, just because you happen to, by their view, be on a higher plane. So they take that you and drag you back down into the tar where they are. This happens all the time. You're like, oh, are you sure you really want to take on a project like that? I mean, it's a big project. What if you can't meet your deadlines? And maybe it's best if you do something smaller. Don't have dreams. Okay, that's emotional and energetic warfare. Okay, if we look at the tarot cards, it represents the 4 elements, the 4 states of matter. We got the solid, physical. We got the earth, solid, physical, earth element. And then the liquid, water element. We got the air, gas element. And the plasma, fire, electric element. And so these 4 states of matter in the universe, the 4 elements in spirituality, in what we call magic, magic thought, in our ideas and how we process information, categorize it. These 4 states of matter, these 4 elements, they symbolize different things. Like the earth is physical. There's physical manipulation. Actually, like you think of what is it? Where they roll around on the ground. Not taekwondo, judo, jujitsu. Yeah, where this is physical manipulation. Where they do that. Okay. Next is emotional manipulation. The liquid, the water. Emotional manipulation is when, say, a very jealous guy is flirting with a bunch of women, right? And so he has an interest in one girl. And so what he does is he grabs another girl and hugs her and then stares back at the other one. It's to incite jealousy, to incite rage. This is emotional manipulation. To withhold something and try to seek something. Okay. Another emotional manipulation is like pretending to cry, to be sad. Guys do this all the time, where they do the pouty face and they go into brood mode, and then us women are like, oh, let me care for you, let me comfort you, please. And it works. And sometimes we're aware it's manipulation, but at least we're getting attention, right? Through sacrificing ourselves. Well, that doesn't seem fair. But that's emotional manipulation. And then we raise a step higher into intellectual manipulation. This is where gaslighting occurs. This is where, in a situation plays out, and then someone will immediately discredit you, immediately disregard you. It's like, no, it didn't happen like that. What are you talking about? That never happened. No, this happened like this. This happened like that. Why are you doing this? Okay, it's gaslighting. It's intellectual warfare. There's physical warfare. There's emotional warfare. There's intellectual warfare, and then there's plasmatic warfare, and that's energy manipulation. And this goes into the other dimensions, the other realms. This is what's not understood a lot, and so that's why I'm talking about it. And so, of course, I met with severe interference in the form of spiritual manipulation, because once we get over the 4 elements, the plasma and the spiritual, it's very hard to distinguish the two with our earthly vision, our earthly understanding of our physical reality. But energetic warfare is something that us humans can do to each other. Okay. Think about like walking into a room. Okay, it's someone else's show. Someone else is putting on a show. Say, a so-called friend, but it's actually a friend of me. An enemy is like, that's their night, that's their show, and then some other enemy walks in and just stands there. Just takes up the space. It doesn't have to say anything, doesn't do anything. Just exists in a very particular moment, and immediately all the attention is now redirected. And that is a form of energetic manipulation. Okay, you have like a group of people, right? And each one's talking and everything, and then one person, the shy one, finally gets the courage to say something, and the other, you know, they're like saying something, and the other people in the group just kind of look at them, and then continue on with what they're talking about, completely ignoring that person. Now, that's a form of an emotional manipulation, but it's also energetic. Energetic manipulation, that person finally felt comfortable enough in their surroundings to speak, to actually say something. They thought they had friends, and all those people were so much in their clique, in their little group. They socially outcasted, isolated, rejected this person who had a fantastic idea, who was trying to gain enough confidence. The people who were arrogant and selfish and greedy, they saw the potential of the little one, and they completely rejected. No, we're not even going to listen to the little one trying to speak for the first time. We're going to further silence them and continue with their little clique. And then finally we go down to the little one and say, why are you here? Why are you even here? Huh? What are you even doing here? Yeah, that's gonna have an emotional impact, but energetically it's like putting up a boundary and saying, you know, we only tolerated you when you were small, when you were silent, when you were controllable. And so, yeah, we're all in a war. And you look around at your own experiences here on this hellish planet called Earth, and we all have stories in how we were isolated, rejected, manipulated, shunned. And so, like your abusive grandma, just sitting on the couch all hateful and spiteful, that hatred is going to affect you in your room. You know, there's no interaction. Energy, plasma, goes through the walls. It enters the different dimensions. You know, quantum mechanics, something that happens 1,000 miles away can instantly impact something 1,000 miles away. And so now we get into karma, we get into ricochet energy. That is energetic. Okay, and that's what the people, particularly in the occult, is trying to master. The hidden knowledge. That's what occult means, the hidden aspects. The things we cannot see. The things we seek to understand. And so we try to communicate with the spirits. We sense energies, presences. We sense spiritual entities. We're curious. We want to talk with them. And so what happens? We open ourselves up. And this is the spiritual element. Yes, there's spiritual beings, but spiritual beings can do the physical, emotional, mental, and energetic manipulation. It's not technically spiritual warfare. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but spiritual warfare is something beyond humans, beyond low-level entities. Spiritual warfare is like the existence of an evil god that's trying to puppeteer an outcome. Okay, we are in a spiritual war. This is a heathen speaking to you, not some religious zealot who only believes in boxes and knows only of human religion. No, I came from the spiritual dimension. I'm here on Earth now. I've been tormented. I've been abused. I have something to say now. And now I'm gonna talk about it. My whole life here, I have only encountered negativity. I've only encountered evil. I have yet to experience any good from this universe. I mean, little tiny parts, like I have a desk, I have my my background, like, sure, that's good. But as far as living creatures or dead ones, no, I've never encountered anything good. I have witnessed and encountered experiences that prove to me the existence of evil. I have yet to experience anything good, aside from myself, from seeing that good actually happens to other people, with interactions, with friendship, but it's always at a distance. I don't have any friends, I don't have any lovers, I don't have any family, I don't have any pets. I just have me. But at least I know I exist, and I know what I am. And so, mathematically, statistically, there has to be another like me out there, and more. And so, when we think about spiritual warfare and why we're on this planet, why we all want to kill ourselves, why we all want to escape this planet, because it is hell, it feels like the grid work scenario, where we're strategically separated. Key placements. Okay, I'm near the Los Angeles region. I never wanted to be here. Los Angeles is known for various evils, and I was never interested in the Hollywood. I was never interested in becoming an actor. I'm here because my grandma lives around here in Santa Clarita, and that's a bit north of the Los Angeles area. And so, yeah, I was born in Panorama City, which is like around the Burbank area or whatever. And I was born around this region. And I had to live up in Portland. I was raised up in Portland, Oregon, where my parents went to escape from their parents. And then I had to escape from my abusive parents, who were in Portland. And so I went down to live with my grandma, who lives here. And so I was in Portland for decades, and I was in the Los Angeles area for decades. And it seems like I'm like assigned on the West Coast to be at these places for a specific amount of time. And it's not to do something physical, it's energy. Just by existing, my frequency affects everything else, and that's why I'm starting to believe in this grid work stuff where we're all isolated, and some of us don't make it because we kill ourselves, because this war is ruthless. This war is horrible, and I will talk to you about spiritual warfare, just what that means, in a moment. But we're all isolated, but then the internet is a tool that can bring us together, and life isn't worth living just for the mission. We need to find each other, we need to bond, we need to be a part of a community, and when you don't have that, it's very difficult. I'm starting out as a content creator, and I saw some other content creators that were early in their development, young channels, people about the same age as me, and I thought, I'll help them out with the little heart emojis and leave a positive comment and everything, and I get to watch their channels grow and everything, and I get to watch them respond politely and kindly to everyone else, except for me. Okay, and my comment came from the heart. My comment was thoughtful. I'm not some mundane chatter. I don't know what to call it. Some people leave very basic, mundane comments that are very low intelligence. And I take my time, I'm thoughtful, I'm respectful, and I'm shunned, I'm isolated, I'm rejected. And yet some very disturbing comments on other people's channels, they seem to be rewarded. This is spiritual war. This is spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is when you finally take time to relax. You finally decide to meditate, right? So you're meditating. And as soon as you get into a state of total relaxation, and some idiot has their dog outside and it keeps on barking, then some neighbor stomps on your head, on the ceiling. When you're in the kitchen preparing a meal, and you're just going into a trance about how happy life can be while you're making your food on the stove, then the neighbor stomps and you burn yourself because you were startled when you're trying to make a special meal, when you've been isolated from the kitchen because you've always had abusive parents. When you finally get time in the kitchen, and you know, as a woman, we're supposed to be the people who make all the meals, right? Who have kitchen experience. Well, when you grow up in an abusive environment, you never get access to a kitchen. You never learn how to cook. And so when you finally get access to a kitchen, decades later, you finally try to make a meal for yourself, and it burns. Or you finally figure out how to make a meal, but then a bug flies. And not just one, but another one. And then when you're trying to make a video, your neighbors open up their garage below your feet. When you're just starting to connect to the audience and getting their attention, then your mind is distracted. So, spiritual warfare is when you give it your all, when you're trying your best, and the universe is determined to stop you, prevent you, make you cry, make you depressed, make you want to kill yourself when you're trying to have a good day. That is spiritual warfare. It's like this evil god is determined to ruin everything in your life because it knows that you came from the spiritual dimension, from the epicness of space, and now you're here on Earth to change this planet, to lift it up just by being alive with your own frequency. And so this evil god wants to ruin that, prevent that, and change our souls by dragging us down into the tar, into the mud, into despair. And so when you sit down to eat that meal that you prepared for yourself, that you put in your time and effort to learn how to cook, and you cooked it well and it didn't burn, and you sit down to eat, you try to watch the show, well, another bug flies, sending you into emotional despair, and then you can't create content because you're dealing with your emotions. When you try to look at YouTube, and say, you know, you're trying to enjoy life, you're trying to calm down, you look up YouTube videos, and everything that displays is something that triggers you. Now, say that you never did makeup in your life, you never had friends to to, paint your face with. You never felt beautiful. You never felt girly. And for once in your life, now in your mid-30s, you're just trying to brush your hair for the day. You're trying to put on lipstick for the first time in your life. And a dog barks outside. And previously, all your encounters with dogs is neighbors not picking up after their dogs. And so, every time you go around a dog, it's inappropriate, it does inappropriate things, it makes messes, it tries to eat your food, and so you begin to hate dogs. And so the one moment you try to just put on lipstick, then the dog barks. From wherever you are, whatever time it is, 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, when dogs aren't supposed to be awake. There they are, interfering with your life and making your moment of self-care, of self-love, into mockery by the universe, by some idiot human who is not picking up after their pet outside of your window. And the dog barking interferes with your recording, and it sends you into a spiraling depression, because when you have that lipstick right at your mouth and a dog is barking, what do you think of regarding a dog near your mouth? You don't want to think about that. And of course the internet shows you that. It shows you many stories about dogs near the mouths of women. And all you just wanted to do was feel pretty one day. And the universe, this evil god, this evil god that runs this dimension, that no other gods are stopping. It had to spawn a dog. And your favorite your favorite YouTubers, your favorite content creators, you try to watch them to heal from this traumatic experience that the evil god created. What do? They worship that evil god in their human sexist religion, and then they show you a dog. They show you the ass of that dog in your face while you're trying to eat, while there's a bug flying in your room. This is spiritual warfare. Okay, no human is designing this. This is beyond human. Now I will talk about the spirits, and their influence on this war. Now, they have different agendas. The spiritual entities that we all sense around us. I have never met a good entity. Some may call that angels. Some may call the bad demons or devils. They're all one and the same. These are factions. Think of it like politics. Okay. Think of demons and angels like politics. It's just one group. Instead of left and right, it's up and down. There's evil in the light, just as there is evil in the darkness. There is good in the darkness, just as there is good in the light. And so think of, in gaming terminology, there's these categories. lawful good, lawful bad, lawful neutral, chaotic good, chaotic bad, chaotic neutral. Think of it like that. Assigned good and evil to the individual, not to the group. Because the group is a faction. Emos and goths are considered evil by the religious. The religious are considered evil by the emos and the goths. We're both working to bring hope to this planet of despair, and yet we're at war with each other. Do you see that? Do you find that just? My intention is to bring your awareness to spiritual warfare, to realize that every time you engage in an action and something negative happens, when you specifically engage in that action of self-health, of self-healing, of anything loving, of anything respectful to yourself, just necessary to do for your own comfort, it keeps you in a stressed, traumatized state. It only holds back so it can jump scare you again. That's only when it takes a break, is to get you, to lull you into a false sense of security, and then bam, it hits you again. Okay? It's very difficult as a female. It's already living in this sexist, horrible, violent world, being silenced, isolated, not believed, and all sorts of things. It's hard enough just dealing with the physical of this planet, of the emotional, of the intellectual, the gaslighting, the everything, the isolation, the social outcasting. And women themselves are very vicious towards women within society. But it's hard enough being a woman on this planet, and then you're in a spiritual war as a woman, as being alone. And so when I have physical needs, health needs for my feminine body down there specifically, because I've been traumatized and tormented all my life, and suddenly I have an itch down there and I need to tend to it, or I need to apply lotion because it's dry, and if I don't, then I'll get a rash and it'll still be itchy. And so just applying lotion, and what happens? A dog barks. That's because something evil knows exactly when I am going to, that I have to tend to myself. It can ignite the itchiness. It ignites that friction, that sensation of getting a rash. And so I have to tend to that at that exact moment when a dog barks, or when your evil grandma coughs. She's completely silent for the entire day. That one time you have to touch yourself to heal yourself. Then your evil grandma coughs. Then the dog barks. Then the neighbor stomps. On those specific moments, this is quantum mechanics. This is temporal mechanics. Temporal means time. Okay, this entity, this evil god, has time powers, location powers. It knows everything, and it orchestrates everything to bring misery and discontent. And if you're not experiencing this, if you don't know what I'm saying, you're probably going to start noticing it. Okay, the moment you lay back and just try to relax for the day, then something happens outside that shocks you awake again. The moment you try to lay down to go to sleep, then the car alarm goes off. It's always these moments when we're trying to feel peace, because we need peace, we need relaxation, we need to calm down, and we can't do that in this universe. Something always happens. Something always triggers us. Like stupid, yellful, moronic loudmouths outside and like playing basketball or something. When you're trying to meditate. The moment you try to take a bite of food, and some man shouts and interferes with you when you take a sip of water because it's near the mouth. Well, the evil god knows that and makes another dog bark. Or it shows you something incredibly inappropriate online. Now, YouTube, just searching on YouTube has its own issues, has its own problems. When you're trying to find specific content, like it keeps showing you things, and you keep on saying do not recommend, and you have to download these browser extensions just so you don't see the content that you already told YouTube do not recommend. And so YouTube has its own issues. However, it is limited in its issues. Okay, this matrix, this hellish dimension, this matrix designed to trigger and traumatize us, it warps and controls technology, as well as the physical dimension. It's also in technology, and that's why when we're trying to relax for the day, when we just had a nightmare about a bear, then on YouTube, suddenly all the bears pop up. You've never seen bears on YouTube before, but that one night when the malevolent spirits helped the evil god give you a nightmare about a bear, then these bears pop up on YouTube and say, oh, this bear attack happened and some woman is now dead, when you had a dream about barely escaping from a bear. And it always happens. It always happens. You'll go decades without talking to your abusive parents, and then you'll have another nightmare of your abusive parents, but this time it's sexual. And and what do you see on YouTube? Something sexual, reminding you of the dream that you just had, to further trigger, further traumatize you. Looking back on my life, now that I have gained all of this experience of spiritual and energetic warfare, manipulation, in both the human dimension and the spiritual dimension, I am now identifying, in the past, when I was a child, in my teen years, oh right, they spawned a bunch of ants during that one event, just like now, when they spawned a bunch of ants during that event. And, the ants could have spawned over all the years, but it had to be the specific, special, important day that ruined and altered my trajectory. Okay. Because we're in a war, that implies that there are, entities that are willing to help, willing to bend the rules, willing to play both sides. You think of wartime, and when you're dealing with a threat, when you're dealing with an enemy, you're not supposed to reveal your secret identity. You're not supposed to reveal the fact that you're a good guy pretending to be a bad guy, or a bad guy pretending to be a good guy. It's wartime. And so, in the spiritual dimension, this is where we get the observers. This is where we get the monitors. This is where we get the malevolent spirits. The ones that influence the humans. And I have yet to meet some sort of being that is so-called angelic. I have never met a good spirit. Now, I was curious about the spiritual dimension, and I have a history with it. I've talked to spirits briefly, and they said the most horrible things to me. Yeah, I was under malevolent spirits' control for several years. When I was 16, I tried to communicate with the other side because I was curious, because I didn't believe in the religious fear tactics of control mechanisms. I wanted to experience the occult, the unknown. I wanted to communicate to the other side, because this hellish dimension of Earth, I feel like a foreigner here. Like, nothing is familiar. I don't think I was ever on Earth before. Like, I came from the spiritual dimension. Maybe I was on different worlds, but like, my soul remembers the spiritual dimension as something that was free and colorful and magical, and we could, like, you know, put our hands like this and energy would form, and we could have these energetic battles, and that's what my soul remembers. And here on Earth, it's so limiting. It's so foreign. I like all these human expressions and behaviors, that they seem very strange to me, and so I wanted to connect back to what I knew, the spiritual world, the spiritual dimension. However, on Earth, trying to reach out to the spiritual dimension, it's like you only contact evil spirits. And some call them demonic, some call them angelic. They assign evil to darkness, when you could just as easily assign evil to light. But they are malevolent. Mal means bad. Malevolent. Spirit is a bad spirit. Means it's an evil spirit. And, would an evil spirit allow you to be tortured? For your benefit? No. You think of the spiritual team that people are supposed to have, like a guardian, some sort of savior. What is a parent supposed to be to a child? Someone who guides them, someone who protects them, just as this spiritual team, this spiritual guardian is supposed to guide and protect the human. What if they're abusive? What if the spirit says to the other spirits, like, oh, no, don't bother saving this one. No, this is a karma thing. This one should be tortured. When it's really malevolent, when it's really just wanting to torture its target. Just like a bad parent, just like an abusive parent. An abusive guide, abusive mentor that was assigned to a child. That is like a human being having a spirit around them that's always attacking them, and yet for some reason all the other spirits don't save me. They don't save you. They don't save us. And so what happens? Well, the religious calls us evil, says that we deserve all the pain and suffering, because clearly no one is saving us, so we must be evil, right? That's what you say. That's why I'm against the religions. Because they are evil. And that is not loving. And the scientific will always say, oh, it's psychosis. Oh, it's a grandiose, you know, you never amounted to anything, so of course you think you're some spiritual being in a galaxy unknown. It's what we are. Life is so temporary, and yet hellishly it lasts forever. and it keeps on torturing and tormenting us. So, wasn't looking at myself. I don't know if I don't want to just be like that. Anyway, so, yeah, what do we do about it, right? We try to connect with someone, and that's someone that we like, that's someone that we think we can befriend. Well, they just happen to say a bad word at a specific time. You watch a video, and that just happens to show another bug. Like on a tarot card, when a bug just tried to ruin your food, ruin your life. And you have a nightmare about a bear. Well, the next tarot card you see, or the next YouTube video, is about a bear attack, a bear on a card, an image. This is everywhere, okay? We have a bug problem here, and that's because the spiritual war. And so what does my grandma do? When I ask for a different toilet paper that has a manufacturing defect where there's little spots on it that look like crushed bugs, however they're processing the great value toilet paper that she gets because it's cheap. I'm like, I can't stand that because of all the other specks that are actually bugs around the house that I have to kill all the time because of cosmic interference, spiritual warfare, the evil god constantly making me fight all these battles when I'm trying to create content, when I'm trying to be inspirational to the people. I'm getting distracted and being pushed off my path. And so I just kindly tell my grandma to please get toilet paper that isn't defective, that doesn't have these squished bugs on it, because it's evil. It's either metal parts, or there's something, maybe it's rubber, maybe it's bugs in the great value toilet paper manufacturing process. And so you undo the toilet paper thing, and every like 5 little sheets there's another speck that shouldn't be on toilet paper. So you tell your grandma to get you new toilet paper, and what does she get? She gets Angel Soft. Okay. Angel Soft toilet paper. How angelic. Well, you feel it. Feels like sandpaper. Okay? This Angel Soft toilet paper feels like sandpaper in your hands. And so you're like, well, at least it's not the great value manufacturing defects. No, so you try to tolerate the sandpaper that your grandma gives to her only granddaughter, knowing full well that she's been traumatized sexually. She gets sandpaper for toilet paper. On the Angel Soft toilet paper, there's an image printed on the little sheets of a butterfly. And the grandma knows that the granddaughter has been tormented by the universe with tiny little bugs, and she gets bug toilet paper. Specifically, when I asked her to get different toilet paper that doesn't have the actual bugs on it, she gets the symbol of a bug on it. So I tell her again, get a different kind of toilet paper. What does she do? She gets Charmin. What does Charmin have on it? It has the image of a bear on it. Okay. The demons, so to speak, the evil spirits, gave me a nightmare about a bear with yellow glowing eyes, and I had to use my environment to escape from it. And there was this one, like, this wooden, like, door thing, where then I can see the bear face, and the bear was just, like, looking at me with its yellow eyes, and I looked into the bear's eyes, and I could feel like this was a spiritual presence Like, this bear wasn't just a beast, it was intelligent. It was, like, spiritually aware. Greater intelligence than a human, and yet its only desire was to devour. To rip me apart. And so, in that dream, I managed to use the environment to evade the bear and run to safety. And it was the first dream that I ever had that there was like a city and men were like doing this military thing, and I was like going to inform the men about the bear so the men could use their weapons of war against the bear, and I as a girl could be safe. I never had a dream where I ever relied on anyone but me. I never asked a man in my dreams, in reality, for help to physically go after the threat. In this dream, I was like using the environment. I wasn't attacking the bear. I was evading it and then asking for help. And it's a very interesting dream to have. And with the yellow eyes of the bear and everything. And then of course YouTube haunts me with bear attack, bear attack, bear attack, bear tarot card, bear tarot. And now grandma, bear toilet paper. This is hell, okay? You think this is Earth? Earth is hell. We're in war. This is a spiritual war. And, you know, it's so ridiculous at times that it can be quite humorous when you put it all together. You can laugh at it eventually, but when you have to deal with it over and over again, it makes you kill yourself. It's not fair. So finally, she got Cottonelle toilet paper, which is just standard basic toilet paper, just with lines in it, and it's softer than the angels, the sandpaper of the angels. Yes, the religious, they love their angels, and yet their own story about the angels. What did the angels do? The angels took the women of Earth, right? That's the first story we hear of how they interacted with humans. The angelic beings took the women of Earth, and so as a child, I heard that story, and that stayed in my mind. Okay, and then these religious morons at these fair events, they had these booths, right? And so as a child, I went up to them, just curious, and they're like, "Hey kid, fill out this thing. What do you think God is? Is he all-powerful, all-seeing, all-knowing, or all omnipotent, whatever?" And so I'm like, okay, sure, all-powerful, whatever. And this religious bastard, he's like, "Well, actually, God is all of those things, so you're wrong, child. This is a trick question. I, as an adult, have deceived you into playing this facade to manipulate your mind into my control mechanism." So, gosh, the only time my parents actually stepped into a church, they were always late. And so all these religious people, you know, they had their heads turned. And then when we walked through the doors, they're just like staring at us, all of them at the same time, like I was evil. Okay, walking through their halls, and That's what happened, and then we never went to these evil churches where everybody's pretending, where they can erase their sins of their lust, of their greed, of their alcoholism just by chanting a few words. Then they go back. They're still abusive. They still watch porn and everything, and then they call themselves clean because they did church on a Sunday. Yet me, I haven't been to church in decades and years, and I don't smoke. I drink responsibly. I don't watch porn. I don't say bad words. I'm a kind person, and yet I am called evil. So, that's why I have a problem with religion. And there's the whole philosophy thing, but, it's the humans. Okay. Whatever they were inspired from, they twisted and tainted their inspiration, their savior, into something perverted, into something controlling, into something corrosive. And it's not the truth. Religion is a tiny little box that they want everybody to believe in, so it can be controlled, so it can be puppeteered. When spirituality is all of this. And the phrase, "we are gods," have you heard of that? We are God. We are gods. We're more powerful than we think we are. We are multi-dimensional, interdimensional beings that can do things in the spiritual dimension as well as the physical dimension. You think Jesus is someone special? That you are not as special as he? That some child down the street isn't as special as some savior from thousands of years ago whose words were twisted? We hear these stories over and over and over again, but now we're finally embracing. We moved on from the gods of mythology, because it is a myth, and we're making our own comic books of superheroes. And so yeah, we as human beings know that we can't physically fly. We can't physically have these energy battles, but we create these stories of characters who can do that, who save the day, who have these tragic backstories, who become vigilantes, who become heroes, become villains. And it's stories that we share as representations, as a means to educate, as a means to communicate an idea to each other, to us human beings. That is the value of these stories, because it connects us together. And so we argue. And so we say, the best color is blue, the best color is red, the best color is purple. When all the colors can be beautiful and special in their own specific particular ways, and yet we're at war with all the colors of the wind instead of dancing with it. So, anyway. When I was 16, this is the big story of the spiritual battles that I had with actual spiritual entities that I thought would take decades and decades and decades of time for me to actually tell anybody in the form of a novel that no one would read. But now I am a YouTuber, now I am a content creator, now I have found my voice. Now I will not be silenced, and now I will not be affected by some moron who thinks I'm lying, who thinks that I'm insane, who thinks that I am evil because I simply wanted to understand. The religious will say, my curiosity is a sin. That, my exploration into the occult was misguided naivety. And the scientists will just say I'm crazy. You know what? I'm at a stage in my life. I'm 36 now, and it is currently March 28th of 2026 as I'm recording this. I'm at a stage of my life where I'm gonna tell the truth no matter how anybody reacts to it. And so I will not be silenced, I will not be put into a fear state. I lived my life on a battleground. I'm used to fear, I'm used to intimidation, and so I found my voice because I was always silenced in life. So I'm gonna tell you my story. And hopefully, you know, anyone going through this can feel heard, to feel like there's someone who will listen to their story. I stayed silent for decades because the world wasn't ready to hear my story. The men specifically who I told, then they're like, oh well, I believe you think that it happened. I believe it was real for you. That's what they say to me. So every time I tried to speak up, every time, they silenced me further. They did the gaslighting, they broke it down. And overall, the bigger picture, spiritual warfare, I was being strategically, systematically silenced and isolated in every aspect of my damned, miserable existence. To have a victim, you need them isolated, you need them controlled. And that's what I was, until now. I'm still isolated, but I'm not controlled. Being on this battleground has trained me in a way to deal with energy, to deal with spirituality. And so I'll tell you what happened at 16. I tried to tell you before in a couple different tarot readings and a couple different vlogs, and so I just said it, and it was so freeing to just say it, and tears came out and everything. And now I feel, after I've been doing these talk to cameras behind the scenes and doing some more videos, preparing for theatricalness, that I feel more comfortable talking to the camera. Like my first talk to camera, I was so shy. I was like trying to figure out how to do one take that never took off, so I'm like, here's all my takes. I just cried trying to express myself, but now here I am, able to say things. So when I was 16, let's see, I'm 36 in 2026, so it should have been 2006 when I was 16. So, around that time, like, I'm not good with math, but I knew I was 16 at the time I was attacked. And so, you know, when I was 15, I started investigating and everything. I was really interested in paranormal investigations. I really wanted to know about the spiritual dimension, and I became increasingly more curious about it. And now my background, I've been isolated, I've been homeschooled by abusive parents, I didn't have any social interaction, I was just alone. I had no siblings, I had abusive cousins who were bullies to me, and yeah, just my parents who were abusive, and the limited pets that I had at the time, 1 cat, 3 dogs, and some chickens. They were never emotionally close to me. I never had a bond. And like when I would try to hug my dog, the dog would freak out. It made me cry. So. And the cat, like, I love cats. I hate dogs now, but I love cats. And the only cat I had, she wasn't close to me, and she kept scratching and everything. And then, 18, I was in this relationship with a pathetic excuse for a human being, super scrawny, and we found a cat on a bridge together, and instead of giving it up to a loving home, we took it back to his hoarder home, where eventually the parents learned how to clean up the house, but because I cleaned up the bathroom once, and then they started cleaning up the rest of the house after I took action. And they eventually got the cat medical treatment because its teeth were really bothering it. But again, that cat was distant from me. I didn't have an emotional connection to it. And they had 2 little dogs that were not house trained at that place. And when I was 18, I had to live with them to escape my parents. And the thing is, I was only allowed in his room. I wasn't allowed in the rest of the house at first. And so I had to go to the park to use the bathroom as a female with blood coming out every month. And he wouldn't go with me because he was too lazy, because he didn't want to walk through the park, but he made me do it. And it took like a year or so so I could have access to the rest of the house, to the bathroom, that I started cleaning just for my own health and well-being. And so then everybody else started getting the idea of living better. And so when I had to escape from that place and move back into my abusive parents' house, they put me in the trailer in their front property. A trailer that had a bathroom, but I didn't want to constantly have that fill up and be emptied or anything, so I had to walk into the house to use the bathroom. And one time my abusive mother just screamed at me one day, screaming to her only daughter, who has needs in the bathroom, that the bathroom is a privilege. She told her only daughter this. Okay, now fast forward to now, living with my abusive grandma. When I go into the bathroom, it used to be this wooden looking plastic on the floor, like a plastic floor that looks like wood, and the pattern, you see certain shapes in the patterns. Well, right below the toilet where my head would look while I'm sitting there, it looked like a demon staring back at me. Okay. And then the neighbors, the water came down, and it flooded all the carpet, and the house had to be repaired. And so we left temporarily, came back, and we got new flooring. This time, when I looked down, there's a demon creature in the corner of the bathroom, not near the toilet, but in the corner. And there's like this long reaching, like, if you think of how the brains with the neurons, and they eventually like reach and meet, it's like it's reaching out, but it can't quite connect. And on one side of that line, there's a single heart, and that represents me in my isolation. And on the other side, there's all these this like cloud of this big heart and this small heart and all these other shapes. And I've come to to believe that our surroundings, like in this matrix, in this hell dimension in the matrix, that what we see on the walls, on the floor, on the ceilings, what we see through these patterns is foretelling of our path in life. Like a different era was created when the water came down and shifted the reality of the bathroom floor and made a new reality of like the demon was like now back and reaching out, and here was me isolated, alone still, as a heart, and there was all this other love that I was separated from. And so what happens? A bunch of bugs spawn in that new bathroom where I saw hearts on the floor, because the previous I saw a heart on the little wooden plastic floor. It was a tiny little heart in the midst of many demons and ant creatures, and then you know, the symbol of the ant, and I was invaded by ants in the other room, and now I'm in the back room in a new room, and the hearts are bigger now, and yet now tiny little bugs are spawning in that bathroom. And so I had it to my breaking point with all these bugs, because originally it was like all spiders and everything, but now it's these flying things. Now it's these tiny little bugs that just seep up from any crack or fall from the vents in the bathroom. The bathroom that is a privilege to a girl, to the only granddaughter, to the only daughter in this abusive family. I have to constantly kill bugs just to go to the bathroom in this suburbia land. You know, Grandma likes to put on appearances and have these fake flowers and shiny tables and white walls and everything. Meanwhile, her granddaughter wants to kill herself and is tormented by these bugs, and so she gets bug toilet paper. And so I had it, and so I got spackle, and it's not the thing to use, but I don't know that. And so I took spackle and went around the entire base, because the men had one job when they were redoing the bathroom, was to make it secure, make it safe, make it functional, so the woman could be alive, so the woman could thrive. And the men failed at doing that. They literally cut the corners of the painting job they were doing. They left bigger cracks in the foundation of the bathroom, and so I had to seal it. What happens? My grandma just screams at me because I did a house repair, because I sealed a crack, and so she's like glaring at me like a demon. I can't do it because I'm not evil, but she was like doing this evil glare for like an hour when I'm trying to stand there and like defend myself of her, and then she's trying to gaslight and manipulate, and just because I was yelling back, then she's like, oh well, who's yelling now? And it's pretending to have a calm tone after she's glaring at me like a demon with all this chaos. This is what they do. They puppeteer people. Okay, I'm not quite done with the bathroom story. What else was it? Where that demon was in the tiles of the new bathroom, the symbol of like this cow head skull. That you look up cow head skull and it's like, oh, it means fertility, it means life, and you know, then all the bugs come to life, and well, that's quite demonic. And so there was a giant spider. Like the first time I got to use the bathroom there, the new bathroom, giant spider, right where that cowhead demon thing was, and I had to kill it, and it spewed out its guts. like that reaching thing. And I'll show you this in a dedicated video about the house transformation, but right now let's just talk to camera. But yeah, so you go back in time and you realize I had to walk through a park at night, possibly risking my life just to go to the bathroom. I had to live in an abusive environment where I was stuck in a trailer where I had to go outside alone at night just to enter the house with a key just to use the bathroom when my abusive mother screamed at me, said the bathroom is a privilege. Now I go to this reality with my grandma, and she's glaring at me like a demon sitting on the couch because I sealed something so the bugs won't get there, but the bugs still found a way. Okay. When I take a shower, alright, that's exposing, right? It's supposed to be like vulnerable or whatever. If you, you know, it's just a naked body, but if you don't feel vulnerable, then the spirits are gonna make you feel vulnerable and violated. And so every time I take a shower, you know, I'm looking around the bathroom and there's nothing. So I take my shower, and immediately after I stop the shower, there's always a bug. Like, right there, after my shower, a bug is like on the counter, or on the floor, or around the toilet. It just spawns. Like, it was summoned by evil. Every time. Every time I eat a meal, there's always something flying. And this is like, as secure as we can get this place to be. Somehow it spawns. But, like in the bathroom, this bug, after the shower, it was bigger than the rest of the little ones, because this little tiny, like if you take a pen and mark just like a tiny little line, that's how big these bugs were. They're very tiny, barely even be seen. And when I tell my grandma, okay, these tiny bugs that I'm seeing in my bathroom, they're also in the kitchen, because I think they like water or whatever. But she's like, are you sure it's not just pepper? She tells me this when I see better than she does, and so that's a form of gaslighting. That's a form of this cosmic manipulation, just to diminish what I'm going through. And then she paints herself as a saint because she's religious, and so I'm the evil one that's being tormented by the universe. So I get out of the shower, right, and there's this tiny bug on the counter, and it's staring at me. It's bigger than the rest of the ones, and it's big enough so I know where its head is, and it's staring at me. And I get out of the shower completely naked, soaked, you know, hair everywhere, and I'm just staring back at it. And you know, I'm so fed up with this at this point. I'm like, really? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And the bug starts to like turn its head away. Like, oh no, I'm not here. Don't notice me. And so I get in the bug's face, you know. I take a step and look at the bug again. And at this point, I was so angry with the universe. I'm like pointing at this thing. I'm like, who authorized you? Just thinking about everything. I'm pointing at this bug, completely naked. I'm like, who authorized you to be here? What are you doing? And this bug, this tiny little bug, this bug of evil, the spawn of evil, keeps turning around like a pathetic dog. Like it's like cowering, like dogs do. And it's... Gosh, oh man. And so the bug's like, no, I'm not here. And so then I kill it. But Another time. Okay, so that's an example of me finally having enough of it, then I'm telling the story, venting to you, and actually finding a reason to laugh, because it's so ridiculous that I was screaming at this bug, you know, like pointing, who authorized you? Why are you here? And it cowered like evil. It's an interesting moment. But another moment was near my monitor. My computer monitor, not the malevolent monitors. A flying bug was right on the monitor, and I have this light. This was right before I got the Zevos, and I have this light across my desk. It's illuminating like pink, like the horizon on the horizon. And so it lands on the feet of my monitor, and it lands there, and then it turns around, and it just stares at me while I'm sitting on my computer, while I'm freaking out that there's another bug in my room. I don't know how it got there, and it's just staring at me. It's staring me down like it's being puppeteered, like it's being controlled. And it lingered there for a while, just staring at me. Direct eye contact. Like it had to, like it landed and puffed up its wings, and then it like just stared at me. It's another one. I just came home from the Portland trip, and I have these little lights, these little handheld lights that I put right under the monitor. And it's magnetic, and another bug ruined my meal by flying around, and it landed right on the light, right after. Yeah, so I think it was right after the hope thing. These lanterns back here. This one. And this. Yeah, this was right after the hope thing. That, got it right here. Now, I talk about this in my behind the scenes, preparing for Frostpunk thing. I got these lanterns, right? And I'm not religious. I'm a heathen. And so I need a symbol of hope. And a lantern is a light in the darkness, a symbol of hope. And this is all I have. And so what happens? For whatever reason, the box that I got, not only was the outside damaged, but on top, you can, whatever, on top, they say this is the lantern, okay. They put this on top of it, so the packaging then goes here, and so in transport, it moves around, right? Instead of like shoving it in the box, keeping this secure. No, for the package that I got, whatever human did this, put it like that. And so this resulted in, it's hard to see here, but yeah, you see that shine right there, that damage? There's a smudge right there. Right there. Right here. And I talk about this in depth about the preparing for Frostpunk in my behind the scenes content, where I find this out and start crying, and I break down. I end the episode, and then I'm still in the editing of this. I have a drawing that I made of a lantern that looks exactly like this, and I made it cracked in my drawing, and I wrote on there something about hope, and you can see that in my, I think it's like, in our darkest times, there's always hope. That's what I wrote. Well, I was in a dark time, and they sent me this. A damaged symbol of hope. And, that didn't make me hopeful, that damaged me. And so that's another spiritual warfare thing. When you get a shipment, a package, with a heart on it, well, the evil god doesn't want you isolated reject, to experience love for the first time in your life in the form of a package. No, it makes that dented and twisted and torn only in that symbol of the heart. I've had my channel for, 3 years now? I haven't had much content on it, but from 2024, April Fool's Day 2024, to 2026, April Fool's Day, I haven't received one heart. Not one comment. I might have got a like or two on some of the shorts, but mainly I get dislikes. And I'm trying to start here, and there's absolutely no support. And it's difficult, so I'm putting my heart and soul trying to inspire people, telling them about ways that they should speak up, tell their stories, and yet, I'm doing things actively to help others, and I'm watching them grow. I'm watching them ignore me as I speak from my heart, and they specifically choose me to isolate, reject, abandon. And not one heart. No, I get the packages with the damaged heart. I get the damaged hope. Because I am the insane one. I am the evil one. So you call me. That's the only call. Because no one actually calls me, no. I'm not worthy enough to be spoken to, no, because then I would have a voice, right? Then I would have a platform. Then I would have a mechanism to send a message, to actually say something, to interact with the community. But, no, they don't want that. They apparently also don't want video game roleplays. Why the demons don't want to watch my video game roleplays, I don't know, but I know I'm good at it. They shut down my computer when I was working on that, and, gosh. Cosmic interference, always. So back to my story when I was 16. I'm sure you're curious, and maybe someone out there is going through the same thing. So 15, I was, like, researching the occult. 16, I started doing the Ouija boards and everything. And, there was, Alright. So, I told this story before, but this is the video that should probably focus on this. I read online that you're not supposed to do the Ouija board alone, right? That it's dangerous. And I had these acquaintances at the time in middle school, when I was forced back into school in 8th grade, because I was homeschooled, and then the state was like, no, you gotta take a test. And so my parents freaked out and threw me back into public school. I was taken out of school in elementary, so I missed 2 years of developmental social education in middle school, the first 2 years in middle school. So the 3rd year of middle school, I was thrown back in with society and got bullied and teased, and it was a nightmare. One kid came up to me, and he's like, standing right behind me, and this guy was like, I will eliminate you. That's what he said. And so, I actually ended up going to the principal's office. I keep distracting myself from the main story, but anyway. I ended up going to the principal's office, and I wrote a note to the principal, and I asked if she was there. She wasn't. She wasn't there, but I wrote, because that was the only form of communication I knew, because I was always silenced. I couldn't speak a damn word. I always had my head down. Now, I can't even, like, put my head down. Like, it's so foreign to me. I'm all like this now, and like that shy. I can't do that anymore. Like, I physically can't. It's and so I left my message, my note, under the principal's door. So when she got back, she opened the door and she picked it up, and then next time we were all in class together, we were called into the office, and these two boys obviously didn't care about me, and they were forced to apologize, but they didn't apologize. But at least I spoke up about it. And so all this spiritual war and everything, you start realizing how you're being attacked. You know, those close calls, like you just avoided a car crash, you just avoided this mysterious stranger in the night that possibly had a knife. Well, back in middle school, you might have avoided getting murdered because you spoke up for yourself. That kid came up right behind me and said, "I will eliminate you." To the shyest girl in the room. And you hear about all these news reports about, like, teenagers murdering each other and everything. I could have been one of their victims. That could have happened to me, if I didn't speak up, if I didn't say anything. And I did that in the only way I could, by writing it out. So it could have went a lot worse. I also remember, we were, like, in that same classroom at a different time. We were in different tables, and the table I was seated in were with all these loudmouths, and they kept talking when the teacher was talking, so I finally spoke up, and I asked this girl, "Could you please stop talking? I want to hear the teacher talk." And she was so combative and hostile, and she's like, "You're telling me to shut up? No one tells me to shut up." And I started crying because it was such a hostile thing, and I just politely wanted to hear the teacher so I could learn something. For the first time in my experience, like, I was taken away from education for a couple years as homeschooled with abusive parents. I wanted to learn, and so yeah, this girl, she flipped out, yelled at me, so I cried, and then all the other kids started pointing and laughing at me in middle school, in the highest grade of middle school, 8th grade in the United States. Yeah, they all pointed and laughed, and it was that moment when I realized no matter how old I am, no matter where I am, whether I'm in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, at a job, at some sort of university, at this higher paying job, no matter where I am, I will always be surrounded by immature morons. And that is the reason I cried. Because I thought, after elementary, it must get better, right? In middle school. And then you think in middle school, it must be better in high school. And in high school, you think it must be better in college, right? Well, I went to art school after community college, the Art Institute of Portland, and I opened a box with a knife. They suspended me. So I had to live with my abusive supervisor that I trained to get that job, who had more money than me because he came in from the other side. I was a student worker, so I was only restricted to this. He came in getting the manager job that I trained him for, And then he, because he was a manager, he got to be a student as well. And so he got to be a full-time student and have a full-time job with full-time money. And I, as a student and a girl, came in the student path and was forced to limit myself to only have a part-time job, full-time student. And I had to train the manager. I had to work overtime just to escape my abusive parents. I would work for free, and that's something that your parents and society should have taught you never to do. Never work for free. And here I was, just desperate to escape abuse, and that's how I got herpes. Is by trying to escape my parents. I'd be at the clubs, just desperate to sleep anywhere else than home, and so that's how I got herpes. But that's in my 20s, so. Okay, back in time to the point of what I'm really talking about. Okay, so, alright, so I'm 16, right? And I read somewhere that I'm not supposed to do Ouija boards alone. So I gather the other people I met in middle school, in my art class, who never saw me as a friend, but I saw them as my friends, or potential friends. They were never there for me, but they were the only people I knew, and so I asked them about a Ouija board then. And I regret asking them. It would have been better for my initial experience to just be all alone. And then I would know it's just me, no one else is like moving the board on its own, and then it would just be like, well, is it my mind or is it me? I wouldn't have to worry about, are they trying to interfere, lying? What if they're doing their best, they're not lying, but they just misinterpret things, and then I have to remember that forever as the reality. And so we spoke with, we so-called spoke that night with a child spirit. Now, when you think about spirits, well, they're ageless, right? You can be, it's a shapeshifter. When your soul takes any form, so the idea of a child spirit, especially trying to reach out to teenagers, well, that's a red flag. You shouldn't trust that. And that's a manipulation tactic that malevolent spirits will use, trying to interact with humans through these communication mechanisms in the very rare way that we can communicate with them. There's a book that was written, what was it, Gulliver's Travels, where this guy travels to these mysterious lands, and on one island, he ventures to this island, and it's full of horses, and these horses can talk. And then Gulliver ends up having to lie, or chooses to lie in this scenario with these horses. And so this horse comes up to him and says, "You have the gift of speech. Why do you choose to tell a lie? When you could have used this ability, this rare gift, to communicate the truth." And so, you run into so many people, and for me, being silenced all my life, like, talking was such a gift. Talking was so rare, and I try to talk to people, especially on the other side, especially the spirits, humans, whatever, spirits. We have such a limited communication, and so the gift of communication between this human realm and the spiritual dimension is so rare. And so I'm like thinking for decades, like, why would they take that opportunity to lie? Why would no spirit ever care to interfere with the malevolent forces to protect me. So, So, we supposedly talked with a child spirit, okay? And that entity said its name, and that name is a common household item that's very common, and so that, just the name made me think that the guy in this group that so-called had experience with the Ouija boards, with the occult, that he was he made this up because he just like looked around and then came up with this item. And so I'm specifically not going to tell you these specific names that the spirits told me throughout the entire time. Like, this spirit was called this, this spirit was called this. Do you know why? Because if I tell you, the human, what their name was, then some malevolent spirit near you is going to pretend to be that name. Just because you watched my video. And so there's this interactivity. And so the malevolent spirit around you trying to manipulate you for evil purposes, they're gonna see that you connected emotionally to this video, and say if I came up with a name that like this really evil entity said, or this manipulative thing, then you're gonna go to your Ouija board and call out to the universe, and then you're gonna ask for a name, and some malevolent, evil, pathetic, moronic, childish, juvenile spirit will say the name that I told you, only to spark fear into your heart, for that is its agenda. For fear is the element of control and infiltration. Okay, don't be afraid. Fear is the mechanism in which control is possible. Okay, so they pretend to be scary, they pretend to be malevolent, all to get you to fear them. And with that fear, there's this energetic pull. Any strong emotion. There's sorrow, there's protection, like a child spirit. So if they pretend to be a child spirit, well, then you're protective. Then you're like, oh, well, it's a dangerous place. There's this lonely child spirit that I have to comfort and protect. I never fell for that. I knew it was a manipulation tactic from the moment I heard that story. And they were trying to make us believe that this kid spirit was like in the hospital, and then the plug was pulled on its life or something, and it made it sound like it was like a murder on the child that was in like the hospital or something. How rare is that? Like to pull the plug on a child, like that's a pretty specific scenario. And so it created this elaborate story and used the child as this mechanism. And then I guess it sensed it wasn't working. And I don't know who its target was, but it came up with a different name, a man's name, and then spoke to us as a man, and this one was more threatening, more forward, more like evil intended. And I don't remember how that specific scenario went with the friend group, so-called, with the other people there. 54 on or 1:54:54 on the recording. Now it's 1:55:1 on the recording. It's currently 7:44:22 in the morning of March 28th, 2026. Anyway, numbers. So anyway, I think the guy started getting paranoid because he had his own problems, and so he ended the thing and said we can't do it anymore because he was cowardly, as I'll describe later. But I'll describe it now. Well, no, yeah, I'll describe it later. Okay, so I go back home alone, no friends, no. I mean, I had the abusive family, but they smoke downstairs in the pit that I dug for them. Anyway, if you need help digging a pit, get some hot dogs and some dogs, and drill some holes into the dirt and put hot dogs in them. Then the dogs will dig the pit for you. My parents took it upon themselves to dig out this pit that I had to dig out for them. So they had a smoking space under the house, so the smoke would rise up and infest the house anyway. But so the entire house I was alone in for most of my life, and my parents were just downstairs with their cigarettes and beer. That was my life. And so I turned to my creativity, I turned it to my mind, because my only interaction was with abusive parents that were smokers and drinkers. And occasionally they would just yell at me, and that was my interaction with humanity. Yeah, so I was alone. I was isolated. I was abused. And so I remember in elementary school, when we learned about the word abuse, that I was telling this kid, I think my parents are abusing me. And this kid, thinking that abuse was only physical, that's why I educated you of physical, emotional, intellectual, energetic, and spiritual abuse. There's many forms of abuse, and just because this kid was like so dedicated on physical and sexual abuse, that since my parents didn't do sexual, besides the tickling, which crosses that line, and they didn't hit me. I mean, my mother like grabbed my arm a couple times, but I guess that is physical. My grandma just bashed in my arm. So there's minimal physical, compared to other families. Again, that's diminishing my own pain. So anyway, because my parents never like hit me in the face, this kid was like, well, then you're not abused. So you can't call it abuse. And so I wasn't good at talking, and so I shut down. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess it's not. They're yelling at me every day. They're making me cry. That's emotional abuse. That's psychological warfare. And so eventually I tell a counselor about it, that my parents yell at me. So see that I didn't tell the counselor I think I'm being abused, because the kid already diminished me. The kid shut me down. The kid silenced me. And so I told the counselor that my parents are yelling at me. And so, and this was in my early elementary days, before the guy in middle school said, I will eliminate you, and didn't even try. And it's disappointing. And so this stupid counselor sits me down with the parents, calls the parents in, and I think they're over here, and I was here, and the counselor's there, and she's like, okay, They called me Jamie at the time, but my full name is JaMiSeN, and so my abusive family keeps calling me Jamie, and so, you know, I associate that with abuse, and JaMiSeN is like my freedom name, and so, they're like, Jamie told us that, you were yelling and stuff, and then my abusive father, he was like, oh, she's just being sensitive. Tell them that you're being sensitive. He said that in front of the counselor, and the counselor was staring at me, waiting for me to submit. I'm like, yeah, sure. I guess I'm just sensitive. Is that what you want in a school counselor? Like, that is not protective. I didn't know that child services existed when I was a kid. So I grew up. And suddenly there's no resources for me now. Because I'm an adult. And I didn't ever learn how to be an adult. No one ever taught me how to get an income. I still don't have one. I've been on YouTube for 3 years as a last resort, and it's not working out. But at least I have this message that I'm trying to deliver. So, yeah, and what else? Yeah, and so I'm trying to explain my situation to the counselor, and about the anger and everything. And, you know, when you have an abusive parent, you know, especially a male, and you're a little female, and it starts yelling and everything, then you start, like, you know, cleaning things in that moment to just, like, you know, ward off the pressure of the anger. And so I try to tell the counselor, well, sometimes when they yell, I start cleaning things, and my dad immediately scoffs loudly, like, ha! Like, you don't clean anything. It's... Later, when, after I was attacked by the spirits and everything that I'm gonna get into, he told me, don't worry. We'll fix your brain. We'll fix your brain, he said to me. They sent me into one of those electrical things, the EKG, EGG, some sort of brain electrical scan. Came back normal and everything, but they were determined that I was lying about the spirits, about them attacking me. And so they sent me in, thinking I was broken, damaged, defective, and they're saying, don't worry, we'll fix your brain. That's what my father said to me. Later, when I was trying to get my independence and started rebelling, and so I started going out on my own around 18 and then into my 20s. And that's about the time that I got that pathetic boyfriend temporarily. Then he's like, one of these days, because controlling abusive people want to keep them contained under the falsity of protection. Okay, so an abusive parent will be like, oh, I'm just trying to keep you safe by yelling at you and tormenting you, making you want to kill yourself. And so you leave house, you go to the graveyard all alone and stuff. And so, in a twisted way to say that men are dangerous and they're a threat and I shouldn't be out alone, he's like, one of these days, he tells me directly, his only daughter, one of these days, I'm gonna hold you down and show you what a man can do. That's what he says to his daughter when I'm growing up. Okay, that was before the spiritual abuse. That don't worry, we'll fix your brain was after the spiritual abuse. And, yeah, not fun to live with. And then, you know, I tell my mother one day, like, please stop yelling at me. And she's like, oh, woe is me. Yeah. Not fun. But, you know, one moment in my childhood, I was very proud. I told them I didn't believe in God. And then, my mother broke down into tears. Because her mother was raised as a Catholic or whatever in a school. And so, my father comes upstairs from their smoke pit, and, you know, I'm just busy playing with my paper cutout toys that I have to make myself to entertain me. And my father's like, your mother's upset because, you don't believe in God. And, she's like, how can you, so young, not believe? And then he's like, can you just believe? Can you just, do it for her sake? No. I told my father, who was, like, translating the mother, no, I will not believe because of your control mechanism, of your fear. I'm from the spiritual dimension. I came to Earth. I don't know why. Maybe I was forced here. I have no idea why I'm here. I'm just called to deliver inspirational messages and entertain, in the form of video game roleplays, in the form of comic books, in the form of novels, and 3D animation in the future. But, to inspire, to bring hope. And I feel like I'm from the spiritual dimension that's so amazing and awesome, and all these portals, dimensions, and everything. My imagination was amazing growing up, because all I had was me. And then, as I grew older, the nightmares, and the nightmares, and the nightmares, and even the guy who redid the house, he stood in my room when I was pointing out all the places he missed, and he's like, oh, us actually doing our jobs. No, that would be a nightmare. And so he said that in my room near my door, and so every time I look at my door, I think of him saying, that would be a nightmare. And I think about men cutting corners and not doing their job to protect and defend. And so, and he used bad words in my room, in my new room, when he was supposed to be the constructor of healing, but he didn't do his job. So anyway, where was I? Back to 16. Back to when I was 16. I was, I went home after the whole, spirit thing. Okay, so after I did the Ouija board with the friends, I went back home. And so then, because the internet told me I have to do it with friends first, I did that. I didn't really like the experience because the friends could have manipulated the situation. And so, then I pull out, oh, wait. Before that, I spent the night over at my friend's place, and I felt the spirit there. Okay, after we did the Ouija board, and the child thing wasn't working out, and so then this man, as a threat, showed up in the spirit form, and so the guy leading the whole thing said, we can't do this anymore, let's just go back and do party things for like a new year or whatever. So I slept over at my friend's house, and I slept in her room. It was just me and her. And I remember when she went to the bathroom, I could feel this presence in the room with me, and at that moment, you know, I didn't realize that spirits could read our minds, so I verbalized, like, very protectively. I was so protective and sacrificial back then, and especially because she was all I had and everything. And I told the spirit, like, I confronted the energy where I've felt the presence, that I told it, you attack me, you leave her alone, and you attack me. I told the spirit that, and I regret it. Because she didn't turn out to be my friend. Later, when I told her about the abuse, she wasn't there. She didn't believe me. And because she didn't believe in the existence of spiritual entities, that kept her safe from the attacks that I encountered. And so, to keep her safe, I played the fool, which is another part of me becoming a fool. I played the fool, claimed ignorance, claimed it was all a facade, to keep her safe. I sacrificed that friendship for her protection, and I regret it because she was never a friend. And so I take it on back. Right back to sender. Ricochet. She didn't believe in me, so no one will believe in her. But, yeah, at the time, I sacrificed myself. I said, take me, attack me, and leave her alone. And, that's the deal I thought I made, and, I was viciously attacked for years. And then, you know, one day, I had to tell her to save her mind. I'm like, you know, that was all a lie, right? And she's like, yeah, I know. And it wasn't. When I told her it was a lie, that was the lie that I told to save her mind, to keep her in her normie, hippie land of happiness and bliss, while I suffered. Dealing with reality. Dealing with, the threat, the unknown enemy on the other side. So, when I finally got back to my place, my parents' abusive place, and I was alone again. All I had was me, and so I made my own Ouija board, and I called out to the spirits, and there was that energy, the same energy again. And it spelled out its name, the same name of the malevolent man, and then it tried to do the child thing. It said that the child is here too, and the child was scared of this man that's coming to hurt the child, and so I did the same thing like I did with the girl. I'm like, leave the child alone, take me. And as a mechanism to distract this evil entity away from that child, I cast myself as a target. I foolishly sacrificed myself, as fools do. And I had no verification if that child spirit was real or not. It seems unlikely, because in the spiritual dimension, you're a shapeshifter. You can be a child if you're an adult. You can be an adult if you were a child. It's about maturity levels. You look on planet Earth, as above, so below. My grandma is highly immature. She's of a lower level. Okay, she's like in elementary. The way she reacts to everything. Me, I feel wise as what an elder is supposed to be, and here's this elder behaving all like a toddler. So it's about maturity levels. It's about the condition of the soul. Okay, just because a soul is actually older doesn't mean it's wiser. Same with humanity as well, but it's also more complicated because the young have older souls than the old do. It's all relative, it's all individualistic, it's all complex, complicated, so. Anyway, so, 16, alone in my room with a malevolent spirit, and I was like, okay, take me. And so, I realized what that meant, but next thing I knew is that it was spelling out on the Ouija board and trigger warning, save this video for later if you don't want the trauma. But spelled on the Ouija board, I will fuck you till you bleed. And then I felt my body kind of being guided to the bed, and for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I felt my body open up. My legs were like pressed apart, and I felt thrusting. And this was my first sexual encounter as a 16-year-old with a spiritual entity. And your religions, well, they say these angels took the women of men, and yet when that happens, when a spiritual entity attacks a woman, then that woman is called evil, that woman is called insane. These spiritual entities, however many they were, whatever they were, whatever name they took, whatever energetic frequency they manipulated into, whatever story they created in my head, they viciously, as much as they could, because it's not quite the same as physical, but I'll get into that. These spiritual entities raped me for decades, and still today. Like just a week ago, I was awoken from being like shaken and like thrusted, and the only good thing about this is that after all this time, all these years of being violated, then you start to build a resistance. And so as soon as I was consciously aware of this attack, I was able to stop it energetically. This is also energetic warfare, where you use the energy. Back then in the day, I'm 36 now, back when I was 16, they could paralyze me. My body was completely frozen, and I had the fear. Now I don't have the fear, so they can't really affect me, but they can still attack me if they choose to. But I can end it when I'm conscious of it. And there's ways to distract the mind away from it when you're under spiritual attack, like when the nerves of the body is so heightened, and you take a shower, a hot shower with the water on the spine. It kind of restabilizes the body. I have to always sleep with a heavy blanket over my pelvis and a pillow between my legs, because if I do not have any support there, then it feels like a violation. And now a lot of people don't understand how a spiritual entity can do something physical. Now that, sure, they understand the emotional, like increasing anger, increasing anxiety, increasing the fear, but how physical, right? This is where the immature start laughing at the victims, which will not be tolerated on this channel. This will not be tolerated to my audience. This will not be tolerated to me. And ricochet right back at you. You think it's impossible, you will experience it. And that's a guarantee. So, now I'm going to try to describe it. It's like air. Okay, so electrical. Okay, it's plasmatic. They manipulate the energy. The body is energy. It has plasma. And so, you ever have like a muscle twitch that you yourself cannot replicate? You yourself cannot control. Like your muscle like twitches out, like something in your arm, like this. Okay? Like this is physically impossible for you to do, but somehow your muscles just spasm into that. That is how they can do this. That is how they can control the body. with focus, with intention, combined with the target's fear, with the target's state of isolation, the desperation to be loved, the desperation to be saved, the fear state. You have to be isolated, you have to have no one, you have to be afraid, you have to be in fear, and that is how they latch on to their victims the most. And that's what I was. By cosmic design, I was isolated. I was fearful, I was silenced. No one was going to believe me, and so I stayed silent. And finally, when I told my parents that it's been happening for years and years, and I told them once, and they immediately do a psychological evaluation, the EKG, whatever, EGG test of the brainwaves, and my father's like, don't worry, we're gonna fix your brain. And they send me to a psychologist. And, you know, they asked me, do I hear voices? And at the time, the intensity of this, I was hearing voices. It was so chaotic. And then I silenced them. This is when I was developing mastery over myself, mastery over them. I learned about energetic manipulation. I started becoming more powerful. I started fighting back energetically. You see, when your legs are pried apart by a spiritual entity, there's nothing to push away physically. Okay, as weak as women are to men, at least we can try to push them away. At least we can shoot them. At least we can, like, stab a man. Spiritual entity, we can't. Okay, I can't call the cops on a spiritual entity. I can't move away. These spirits are quantum. They can teleport. They can read our minds. And so, what? No one's gonna talk about it? I'm gonna talk about it because it's real. It's happened to me. I have a lot of experience with it, and I learned how to fight back. And so, if you're isolated, don't go to the spiritual realm for a friend. Never trust the dead. Okay. If you die, are you gonna hang around Earth? No. No, this planet has done enough to you. What you're gonna do as a spirit, you're going to fly off into another dimension and try to find a heaven. A haven. Okay. There are many different havens and hells, and it's not limited by religion, okay? It's like Earth, all these different places to live. In the spiritual dimension, there's even more. Even throughout the vastness of space, there's so much more dimensions in the spiritual dimension. Think of all the people that died on this planet. That's a lot of souls, right? If everyone was different and not, like, reincarnated, that's a lot. Okay, it's like endless in the spiritual dimension. Earth is limited. Earth is a box, and within that box are little tiny boxes that sexist men made religion into. So, don't get attached to names. Okay? Feel good or evil. And, like, if it's a good deed, and you feel good doing good, then do good. If you sense manipulation, if you sense evil, even if it's from your own faction that you love and support so much, that's an evil action. You have to identify that and eradicate that in your own institutions, because that is where your domain is. You chose to be there, so it's your job to take care of that. Say you're in a church or something, and something bad happens in a church. You go to that church, you have to speak up about that thing in your church. Transform that from an evil place into a good place. Do not condemn some emo that doesn't go to your church because they're from a different faction. Okay, you call yourself light? Well, I'm dark. I'm a different faction. No, I don't do the healing, I don't do the love thing with the hippie Zen meditation states. No, I attack energetically. I defend energetically. I do the ricochet. I do the karma. Okay. You think of prisons? Well, prisons have to be controlled by the guards. Okay, so that is what I am in this hell dimension of the spiritual cosmos. I'm one of the Darklings that makes sure that the bad people get punished for what they have done. There are consequences, and good innocent souls should be protected. And so I was a good innocent soul, and I was given this life. And the only interaction that I get is from things I can't see. Things that I forced myself to love in some Stockholm Syndrome abusive state because it was the only attention I ever had. And that formed a bond of desperation, of fear. And so they could control me more. And, again, when it's a spiritual entity on top of you, for hours, because they don't stop. Like, a man, a physical man, a girl can just wiggle, make a few sounds, and he'll, not be able to contain himself. He'll stop. Okay, a girl can force that outcome by pretending. With the spiritual entity, there is no stopping. They continue to attack and attack and attack. And no, it's not the same as being shoved into the wall. It's paralyzed. It's your body moving without your control. It's different, but it's real. And I need you to understand that. If you're going through the same thing, the thing that helped me was music, for one, to harmonize with my heart, to protect yourself with your heart space, to harmonize with the music. You think meditation music is going to save you because it's all soothing? Not necessarily. Okay. Metal music, if you resonate with the metal music, if that inspires you. Rock music, with those emotional, you gotta have something emotional that you can feel. That's what protects you. Okay, it's not this hippie stuff. It's the metal. You need to feel like you're in this epic story, this battle, and you're fighting to protect someone, and that someone is you. You have to protect yourself because no one else will. And so you call upon anyone, any spirit in the universe to save you from these manipulators, from the abusers. And no spirit comes around. You were never saved, you only get nightmares. Trigger warning, in these nightmares, you are attacked by beings of light. Sexually. And so you wake up to see a bright light over you. And then to have your body paralyzed and to be thrusted upon by air. And you wake up into the state of being raped by something you can't see, something you can't feel, and yet it manipulates your body and it thrusts inside you and it feels like air. And there's the fear, then there's the tightness of the chest, then they go after the throat. And for those who will never think that this is real, well, there's a special place for you somewhere where you will become educated. For those who understand what I'm talking about. Maybe that you haven't experienced this. You don't want to, trust me. But those of you who are watching this, who are probably silenced into submission, who are fearful, remember that it is the state of fear and isolation that allows them to control you. Like the techniques that I have for you. First, music. You always have to have music to resonate with your heart, to just feel like write stories. You need a creative outlet to distract your mind from all this. You have to write, you have to draw. It's also a mechanism to transmute all this trauma and evil into something positive and good, to overcome your fears by talking about it in your stories, writing a novel, drawing your comics, doing your video game role plays, start a vlog, talk about your experiences so someone else out there can feel inspired to share their story without feeling isolated or made fun of. Because I'm here like a fool, telling you what is real. It is a threat. It is an enemy. How do we combat this when we can't call upon men to save us? When the men who are supposed to protect us, they laugh at us. They call us insane. Then the women who believe us call us evil because they're religious, or they're hippies and they think you're just lying for attention. We need to come together to combat this. Mechanisms for you to protect yourself. The music, the resonation. You have to feel something powerful, protective. Like, think of a story where one character is protecting another character, and that protection is what's going to protect you. Right here, right now. You have that power. Another thing is when the body is so super heightened and stressed, like a balloon that's charged up and with all the static and everything. That's how the body feels. It's all staticky and stuff. The shower, a hot shower on the spine, usually reverts the body back to normal. You gotta eat healthy, you gotta exercise, you have to have a creative outlet. You have to do your art, you have to write your stories. Sleeping, you need to be secure. You gotta have the heavy blankets, the pillows in between your legs, just to have that security, so you don't feel like any bit of air, like how you see this? This is a blanket, right? A blanket normally lays, but there's always like air space in there. Just that slight little movement of the body on the blanket is enough to trigger the mind back into a fearful state, which allows them to latch on again. So you need that extra cover on the pelvis, just to prevent that triggering feeling like something is like there. Like these slip down. Don't think this is anything, but just as a little tiny feeling, that's enough to trigger the mind. And now in my personal experience, honestly I'm disappointed, because I didn't experience like the major things that you see in the movies, like being thrown against the wall or being levitated. I didn't experience any of that big theatrical stuff, but I was paralyzed. I was fearful. There was this tightness in the chest, the clenching of the throat. My limbs, they took control of my arms. They did things that I was not in control of. Endless crying. I would call out to the universe begging for death every day, every night. You see, a physical man, he has a limitation, right? He's physical, he has stuff to do throughout the day. Maybe he attacks once or twice. A physical man. A spirit doesn't have the same limitations. Now, they can't be as physical, no, but they're always there. They are always there. They're in the bathroom, they're in the shower, they're in the laundry room. They're always like hovering around, and just their presence alone is interference. So it's been decades, and still, yeah. And I've spent years blocking some stuff out, paying attention to others. In the height of this, when I was 16, I did hear the voices. Like, the mind was so chaotic, and these voices, like, every little twisted negative thought. So what I did to calm the voices was, I stopped responding. I silenced my mind at 16. I completely silenced my mind. I have not heard voices since then. The psychologists, the scientists, they call this schizophrenia. They say it's impossible for a schizophrenic that hears voices to stop hearing voices. Well, I did. I stopped that because I mastered my mind. I silenced the mind, and how I did that was by not responding. Okay? If you're wearing a purple dress, and your mind, in a chaotic state, is having the voices saying, "You're wearing a red dress. You're wearing a red dress. Why are you wearing a red dress?" And so your natural tendency is to respond, "No, I'm not wearing a red dress. I'm wearing a purple dress. Why are you asking if it's red?" That's the mind, okay? This is mental chaos. That's a very limited, basic view. That your mind is designed to reply, to combat, to explain, and to rearrange. Like, if something's inaccurate in the mind is supposed to put all the pieces together. And so if you have these voices in the mind saying that, oh, you're fat, oh, you're ugly, oh, this, then the emotions then activate the mind, saying, why would you say that to me? I thought you loved me. What do you mean I'm fat? So, it's not responding to the voices that make the voices go away permanently. Now, over time, the voices did come back in pure silence. I noticed when everything got quiet, there was no music, there was no thunder sounds, then the voices started coming up, even years after, like in my early 20s, or mid-20s, when I'd be alone and in a silence room. Then the voices started coming up, but I could, like, shift it out and, like, nope. No. I gotta focus. Focus on something. So in that way, it can come back, but overall, it's just getting used to not responding to it, because what they want is the chaos, they want the distraction. Their agenda is to distract you from whatever you're doing on your mission in life. They want to, like, call you fat, call you ugly, say your shirt, your dress is red instead of purple. Just all these twisted little things that distract the mind into using all of its energy to defend itself. It's always defense. Like, no, it's not. It's not red, it's purple. No, I mean, I'm not horribly obese. I'm okay. And then they're like, no, you're not. And then you shut down and feel sad and everything. So, yeah, moving into the spiritual interference, which is most common, which is the mental and the emotional. They tend to feed off of negative emotions, like sorrow and depression and suicidal thoughts, the anger. They'll puppeteer people, like someone living right next to you. They'll do whatever they can to create conflict, to create divide, to keep separation. That is their agenda in this overall spiritual war. So, where are the good forces? Where are the good spirits? I asked them after years, just quite recently, a couple years ago, I took the divination rods, like this, and the crossed version of the rods is a positive, a yes, and the out is the negative, the no, because, you know, it's space, it's void, it's no, and then the positive is like yes. And so I asked them a series of questions. First, I was just trying to get the spirits to interact with the rods, and so I tested them. Can you make them cross? Can you make them go out? So I tested their reactions. Eventually, they seem to, like, run out of energy because they use your energy as well to make a connection. If it's just them, then they're weak. They can't do much. They always need you. Remember that. They can barely do anything. You're the key. You're the gateway. So they need your fear. They need your attention. They need your desperation for a friend, your isolation from everyone else, your curiosity. And this is where the stupid religious people call us evil for being curious, when they think of themselves as spiritual warriors, as soldiers of their god. They're cowards. These religious morons, they don't know of spiritual war. They've never even been attacked. They won't last. But the ones they condemned to live in hell, us, well, we're stronger because of it. We know what we're doing. We've been in this war for a very long time, and when we die, when we get to the spiritual realm again, we're gonna be even better than before. I mean, this isn't our first rodeo, if you know what I mean. So, these soldiers of gods, they're cowards. They abandon those that they should be protecting, the innocent ones that they call guilty, the children of abuse that they condemn to be further abused. Me. You cast me into the shadows, so I became Queen of the Damned. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, there's a benefit to losing. You gain experience. You gain self-mastery. You gain self-sufficiency, as opposed to always believing in a savior. And just being so blissfully ignorant, pretending that you're always divinely protected when you're not. You're just ignorant of the fact of all the ways of how they're getting to you with your alcohol, with your anger, with your apathy. But maybe that is all on you or them, if you're like me. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so eventually when I had to get the counseling, because my parents were like, we'll fix your brains, they asked if I heard the voices, and at the time I was saying yes, I heard the voices, and so they asked, does the voices say to kill anybody? And I'm thinking, is this a common question? Do you ask people if they hear voices a lot? Do you ask people if the voices tell them to kill a lot? Because that seems like standard behavior. And I said no. If anything, I want to kill myself. And, yeah, it was interesting, because, now here's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. With the spiritual attacks, okay? The feminine is the receiver, okay? The feminine is usually the target. So, when the feminine is attacked, it's always the external, coming in to invade, coming in to violate. As, as my abusive grandma, that's her cue to open the door, and violate this conversation, even though she's female, too. She's quite invasive. So, anyway, and then, of course, the natural feminine thing is, for the mental. I'm not pretty enough, no one wants me, and everything. But the masculine, now, when the masculine is spiritually attacked, he becomes the puppet of these entities. He's now the vessel of anger, of hatred. Now. It's always the person in true control. They are influenced by these malevolent forces. So men are more influenced to attack in anger. Don't ever blame it on a spirit, though. If a man chooses to attack, then they're weak, they're pathetic, they're the enemy. Treat them as the enemy, as that's their choice. They chose the attack. Okay, a real man, he would understand this manipulation tactic, that something wants him to attack. He would identify that, and he would attack back at the manipulators, back at the puppeteers. He would never attack a victim. A real man would be defensive and protective of the innocent, and he'd identify the manipulation tactic. But a lot of these weaklings here on Earth, they're morons. And so you're going to see a rise in violence, a rise in stupidity, in addiction, in, the ignorant masses of humanity that are pathetic, the imbeciles. Well, in the spiritual war, then more conflicts collide. There's more aggression, there's more sadistic things, there's more crimes, there's more arguments in these heightened spiritual moments, which is now. Okay, we just ended the 9 year of 2025. 5, 2 and 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a year of 9. That's the previous cycle. Now we're in 2026. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are in the year of 10. That is also the year of 1. This is the new beginning, the new energy. This is the shift into a new era of another decade. And since we have 12 months, 1 and 10 combine into 1, and then 2 and 11, and 3 and 12 for the whole cycle. And then you think of the Capricorn, what is it, Capricorn? Yeah, the Pluto and Capricorn moving into Aquarius, and then the age of Aquarius, like the opposite direction. There was something in Pisces that is moving into Aquarius. Now we're double Aquarius time. And all these cosmic changes and everything. It all boils down to big events are happening right now because a new era is beginning. And so now we're in the year 1 numerologically, and it's like now is the time. Now is the new beginning. It's now springtime of that year, and yeah, so you might see that things are ramping up. Okay, there's going to be more bugs. Suddenly we get all these mudslides, all these floods, all these fires, all this this weird cosmic destruction, the frost, the snow. Like, how rare is that for that to happen now? Like, things are building up. There's more things in the sky that we've never seen before, more anomalies, probably more paranormal experiences. All my life, 36 years, I have not encountered anything good. Now, I don't know if anything good exists, but they're clearly not good enough, because they never saved me. So, back to the rods, I asked, you know, after they proved that they can move them in my commands, I asked them, throughout my entire experience, has any spirit just wandering around in the universe, any soul that just happened to die and float around and see me suffering and tears and everything, anything, did any spirit ever care? Did any spirit ever care about me while I was suffering, while I was crying? And the rods, they hesitated for a bit, and then I asked, be honest with me. And, you know, they did the hesitation, and then they opened up and said no. No spirit has ever cared, which is accurate, because no human has ever cared either. Not one heart emoji on my channel in 3 years, not one kind comment, not one friend, not one lover, not one pet. And they had to open it up in the no, which is a violation action. It feels violating when they tell me no spirit has ever cared for me. Now you think, if the spirit actually cared, if they were in that room trying to get a yes, if they really cared, if they had a heart, if they were protective, then it would immediately go like this, because this is protection, this is love, this is not. And so that is honesty. No spirit in this dimension has ever cared for me. So I know that this realm is evil, this realm is a hell dimension. But I'm here. I know I'm good. And I want to see good out of you. Because I don't see it right now. So, I guess that's my message. Spiritual warfare, energetic manipulation. This is the reality. And, it's gonna ramp up. So you need to prepare for it, and, do not trust the dead. Okay, you think you're surrounded by fairies. You're surrounded by your Jesus, by your angels. No. There is something evil manipulating human beings. They're using them as puppets. You have to cut yourself free. See the strings of control tactics, of manipulation, the strings of fear, and cut yourself free from that. Because you are not a puppet anymore. If you're on my channel, then you are a jester. And jesters cut themselves free from puppeteering, from manipulation, from control. Jesters are free. Free to be who they are, free to speak like a fool. Even if no one else believes. Even if no one else supports. Even if no one else cares. The jester is at least free. So what are you gonna be? Are you gonna be a puppet that will be puppeteered? Or will you be a jester and cut yourself free? The choice is yours.